another episode of With the Chiefs.
Wait. Man, I need more rest.
I hope I've got your last name right there.
It's a very good pronunciation.
You should know better than that now, Donald.
I know.
All right, we're back. I've caught Dom again. Playing Candy
Mate,
Crush.
just a Candy Crush addict.
Welcome back to another episode of With the Chiefs. I'm very happy to introduce today Ian Zhou. Ian recently ran 2:38:45. Sorry, almost shortchanged you by 10 minutes.
My old PB.
Yeah.
About that a little later.
At the Melbourne Marathon. So I think we're definitely keen to dig into that. But if I go through some of Ian's PBs, so he's got 16 flat in the 5K. That was at, where was that?
That was at the PB City Turbo Runners event earlier this year.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
I've got your 10K down as 33:56, but that's
That's at the Sun Run.
at the Sun Run.
Yeah, Sun Run.
Which is very quick.
That's probably
at that.
about
When
30
was
seconds
that?
Start of this year,
Yeah.
February. So yeah.
Okay.
Is that the next one to come off the list then?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. For the half, it's 1:14:30 at.
It was at Sydney half recently, so a couple months ago in September.
Yep,
The build up to the next one you're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I've already mentioned that one and butchered it, but
Have a second try.
the other one. I know. Well, okay. Melbourne Marathon 2:38:45.
That's the one.
That's your other PB.
Correct.
Another one I actually noted down was this year you got top 10 up Heartbreak Hill, which is
top 10.
which is huge at Cedar Surf.
Yeah.
What was it like 10th or?
As the split itself was 10th. Was 10th in 5 minutes 33.
Yeah.
So that was the split itself. Even though my overall time was a little bit back in 48:10, but
Jeez, still very solid.
Very solid.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, obviously welcome to the show. We'll start.
Thanks for having me along.
All good, mate. All good. It's I know you're a listener as well. So
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We'll just start off like we normally do, except for the previous episode where we went a bit off track, thanks to Adrian. But we'll just do a bit of a trading update. So I guess what's been happening with you post Melbourne, because that was almost.
It's been was it 9 days ago now?
Yeah.
9 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So first couple of days didn't run anything at all. Just did. So the Monday I just walked a bit. Did a kilometre of swim for about a kilometre, and then Tuesdays much the same, just walk around. But I was still in Melbourne. I was actually still in Melbourne after the race for a week, so I was just like doing a bit of tourism there.
Yeah.
So that was. So this is checking out a few places. Wednesday I did do like two little trail runs. One of my friends down there, Justin, he just showed me around a few places, just a bit of trail there. So it was nice to just do something a little bit different, even though it's probably a little bit harder on the body, like straight on the back, because the first one was like this Kokoda trail down Dandenong. It was like this big like downhill then big uphill one.
Yeah.
4Ks, yeah. And then then was just another one was just like more of a social trail, which was a lot flatter. So that was nice there. Then Thursday, Friday, we just did a bit of easy jogging around. Let me think. It was Thursday was almost I've forgotten what did I do Thursday? I did great. I know Friday I did like a jog around like my area, like the area that I was living in with the hotel. So yeah, Thursday I swear I did something on Thursday. Did I? God, shit.
That's all right. No, that's all right. It's all right.
I might just quickly check on Strava for a moment, just for that.
Just for clarity, yeah. Make sure we've got to clarify.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I've done that quite a few times on but I normally just give up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
I went to the tan on Thursday. Went to the tan, just did 2 laps of there. So I did get to see the like records on there. Just like you see the records of the men and the women. Of course, like I've been hearing that on Inside Running a lot as well, because I also listen to the Inside Running podcast. So they talk about the tan all the time. So I thought I have to go to the tan and just run a few laps there. So just did 2 laps there. Friday just did loop around my area, and then Saturday went to just checked out Albert Park Run, which is cool. Big headwind for once, which was didn't feel much of this big of a headwind for like ever really, because it just blew me like it did slow me down quite a lot, which was surprising. I've never really felt slowed down by that much just by headwind.
Yeah, okay.
So and then I just didn't even, and then so that was actually just went there, and somehow like 800 people, and it still won it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
So 1647, 6 days after the race.
Oh, really?
I was like, it was just a pack of 5, and then they just gradually dropped off, and then I suddenly just me and this other guy there, and then we just like cat and moused a bit, and then I somehow just marked him on the sprint. It was like kind of just like I was like ahead of him, like he tried to pull away last K, I managed to just like bring him back, and then on the sprint I kind of heard his footsteps, so I was just kind of like maneuver, so it almost like blocks him, so he had to go around if he wanted to get after me, but then I managed to like successfully mark him there. And then like just another like short jog just before I flew back, and then Sunday was just Sunday I just like when I got back to Sydney, I just like went like from my place, just did a lap of the bay, and then headed back home for about 15k. So the first week after, I still got 60 kilometers, so it's still a fair bit. Like
and
it's
running.
it's the shortest I've done in 4 months, which is one thing. But then if you compare that to like years earlier, that's like it's like heaps when you compare to like maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
I remember normally after marathon it's very hard to sort of get moving.
Yeah, I know.
But you've obviously got more experience. You've got experience on your belt now. But still, 1647. 6 days after.
Yeah.
Pretty gutsy run.
Yeah.
I know.
60Ks, that's like 10k a day almost. Like that's still pretty solid.
And that was with 2 days off, pretty much.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this week so far, yesterday I didn't run. Yesterday just decided to do a kilometer swim, and then today just did an hour early in the morning, and then we're here. So
Yeah, nice.
Awesome.
Solid. I didn't realize you got back into it that quickly. I probably should have checked your Strava. That's solid. How did you feel? Like, how did you feel fatigue-wise after, like, pretty much right after the race? Were you?
I guess the quads were the main thing, and also like one of the ligaments behind the right knee was also like felt like it had a fair bit of lactate, like really stiffened that. So I think it's finally started to clear out now, which is good. So it's like the quads I think are good now. Just the like back of the knee, just a bit of I think a bit of lactate, but I think that's almost good to go now. So which is good. So yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Interesting. Did you do any like gym work or anything like that in the lead up, or
in the lead up to the races?
Yeah.
No, I didn't do any gym. I
used
used
to cross training.
I used to like I guess a bit of swimming every couple, like usually every like few weeks or so. Used to do like a few course circuits, but then I've sort of slacked off recently after moving out. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So I need to try and get back at it. I probably need to buy a yoga mat, to be honest, because I used to do it when I used to do it on like a firm bed, but then now my bed's like this soft mattress. So
Yeah.
So it's like a lot. So it's a lot harder to do it. Like I sometimes even just wall sit while having breakfast. Sometimes just have the bowl of Weet-Bix and just wall sit for a couple of minutes. So yeah.
So no no strength in your plan.
Like no like big, like definitely not the gym, the weights and that. I was
Okay.
not really into that stuff at all.
Yeah.
Like I guess
Okay.
like when you say core circuits, usually like I would have done like I used to would tend to do like this, like the bring Sally up circuit. So you heard
yeah,
about
the
the Bring
song.
Sally Up
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
I used to be able to do the full 30 on the push-ups, but ever since kind of slacking off of not being able to do that. But then you also like do it with like a glute bridge and then like a crunch and then leg raise, a squat, lunge, and then just go and then spend some time on the wall. And
What is it?
We'll have to get like an Ian Zhou challenge where you just go through and do Ian's circuit, I reckon.
Yeah.
But the Bring Sally Up, there's like a song, and every time they say Bring Sally Up, you have to do the rep.
Yeah. And like
how many is it in the song? It's probably,
there's 30 reps in the song.
Oh, okay.
Exactly,
Yeah, right.
30. So yeah, and then you have the old Miss Lucy is dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. That is like you have to hold the rep, and that is, especially on the push up, you really have to. That is really painful.
Yeah, geez.
So yeah, I really need to like get back into it a bit more once I'm more in full swing, to be honest. But yeah, that's like, so I guess in terms of the strength side of things, is I guess more of the core work, but rather than the gym is what I've like focused on over the last few years. And yeah,
Okay. That reminded me of that song. Reminded me of Song On, Song Off when you used to take me for long runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't done that. That's pretty good. We should
Yeah,
get
it
around
was good,
that.
like fartlek, just
Yeah, fartlek Song On. It was
for long runs. Yeah,
dangerous when you get like Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that.
Yeah,
when it's,
it's on
when it's
shuffle,
your
you don't know
song.
what's coming up.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a bit of uncertainty, but anyway, what's happening with you, Dom?
yeah, it's been a couple of good weeks in the lead up to Bondi to Manly. I've still got another 2 weeks off work, which is pretty good. So I've just been pretty much like, had 1 week training like a pro runner almost. Did 167 Ks.
Really?
Yeah.
100 miles plus.
Yeah.
Was it pro hours as well?
Yeah, it was good. It's I don't know. It's
good.
hard to do, but it's easy to do when you can just have a nap during the day and all you're really thinking about is running.
Yep.
But that was a good week. I think there was one day where I did like 3 sessions, which was probably a bit much. Well, it wasn't. I did Delta in the morning, which was like 6 by K. And then there was like a research study at Macquarie University. And part of the study you had to do a beep test. So that's still like a bit of exercise.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that afternoon I went to Turbo. And we did like a 20-minute effort and then 4 hills. So it was a pretty big day.
How'd you feel after that?
It felt all right still, but I think the next day like I still did like, I don't know, 30 Ks or something, like 2 doubles. The next day I went and checked out the course with Sotar, and we like ran up the first section of Bondi to Manly, which is, it's pretty hilly, but I think maybe because I was tired I felt like it was a lot harder than it maybe will be on race day, but that's probably a good thing. Going into a race thinking, oh shit, this is going to be hard, just to hold me back a bit. And then other big sessions on that weekend, I did 20 by 1K, which is like part of the long run.
Okay.
Which it was just good to kind of like practice fueling and get ready for the ultra. I feel like that's kind of the last like big solid effort that I did before the race. But it's 20 by K, but it was pretty cruisy. It was like at 340, 350 kind of pace.
Yep.
Okay.
So kind of targeting that probably, I don't know, 50K pace rather than like anything too crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's a good
what was your
one.
rest? Your break in between the 1Ks?
Yeah, so rest was I think it was just like have a drink, but it ended up being about 90 seconds.
96, yeah.
Yeah, but I was just making sure like I was practicing fueling. That was like kind of the purpose of the session as well. So after every rep, I was just having a little sip of Tailwind,
Yeah.
which just to kind of get used to running with that fuel. And then other sessions I've done, I did, this morning we did Delta, which was like 5-minute broken 5 minutes. So you go 3 minutes hard, 1 minute easy, 1 minute hard.
I saw you you were leading, like you're going out, and then one rep you're like, I better hold back. I got Bondi to Manly, and then you're back out the front. But it wasn't crazy.
No, it wasn't crazy.
Sorry.
Well, the first two were like, I was definitely working too hard, and then I kind of like called myself out and was like, okay, I got to pull this back a bit.
Mate, how fit is Scotty at the moment?
Yeah, geez, he was moving very well. Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's all the workouts I've done, and then I've just been trying to run on the trails as much as possible, really, because I think that Bondi to Manly, it's pretty like uneven and stairs and hills and stuff. So I think that if you can get your eye in on the trails and get used to running on that kind of terrain, then that'll help you in the race, hopefully.
Forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, and then the big race is this Saturday, so now we're into the taper.
Yeah, into the taper.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it still, or?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay.
I think, it's like, it's going to be just awesome to explore Sydney. Like I said it before, there's no other ultras in Sydney where you actually just are in the city running on the routes that you run like every day. Yeah, it's going to be sick.
Yep. Cool.
And Smitty?
Me?
How's your training been going?
Training is going... Oh, before I get into it, how's your hamstring, by the way? Like with that, it's fine?
It's like probably the best it's been in a long time.
Okay.
But still shows up every now and then.
Okay, so not crazy given... Because you've obviously bumped up in volume.
Yeah, and I think I had like a little bit of an Achilles kind of niggly thing, probably from just having a rogue week of 167 kilometers.
Yeah. Both settled.
But it's not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, good.
Yeah.
What's happening with me? I haven't given... Last episode didn't really give an update because it was not really that running focused. But,
you just took off on the episode, ripping into everyone.
Yeah. Just ripping in. Yeah. But I was also at Melbourne with Ian. I did the 10K, so was just coming back obviously from hamstring stuff, but I think I'm really just on the tail end of it now. Like I think I've been super conservative, to be honest, but I think a lot of that's just fear of making it worse and having it linger. But after the race it's been feeling good. I was probably, if anything, when volume goes down, I get a bit lazy. Like you get out of the groove of it, because I pretty much only ran after the race on Wednesday and then Sunday. So, but in terms of the race, I can quickly, I'll try not to go too much into it, but it was a good... Have you ever done 10K there, or?
No, that was the first race I'd done outside of the state of New South Wales, really.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's the first time I travelled somewhere for big for a race. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
So pretty much all my other races have been in Sydney. Once did one up in like the Gosford region once recently too, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was good. It felt on the day. It felt, I don't know. It felt hilly, but it wasn't like the hills weren't too bad.
In Melbourne,
it felt like there was up and down. It was up and down. You grilled me last time because I said the back end of the marathon was hilly, but it's not like City to Surf. But when you're used to Gore Hill and the Bay Run, then I'm just defending myself here. You know, it was slightly undulating, shall we say?
Okay.
Yeah. But
did you find the marathon hilly? Or?
It was like the first half was very like cruisy, as we all know. It's like pretty flat. You go through like Albert Park, you go through St Kilda Beach and all that, and then it's very cruisy. And then once you hit like the tan, that region, then you start getting some real. You really do have to like battle it, really run like really tough to be when you get there, because it kicks up a bit, and then you get you sweep down a bit, and it goes like this bit of like especially I think it was 36 to 37k, especially that part.
Yeah.
And especially when you're coming that deep into a marathon, if you haven't
Yeah.
healed that deep, it really takes the sting out of you, and it could really just end a lot of people's races as a result.
Yeah.
You're like, even if it isn't like, it's not like the gradient like a city surf gradient or something, anything like that, but it's still like
Enough to do
it's
some
still
damage.
enough to do some damage.
Yeah.
Especially that deep. If it's early in the race, then maybe not so, but
Yeah.
when you have it situated deep, then it can definitely take a bit out of you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, maybe it's all in my head. So
Maybe if you're running a marathon.
maybe if you're running a marathon, I rescind
you're
my
running a 10K,
I rescind my previous review of the 10K race. You can always check the elevation if you'd like, but in my imagined state, it was sort of undulating. But yeah, it was good. Like I decided to. I thought I was gonna not take it easy, but just not do a tempo. I don't know. I had those sort of ideas to just go out and have a bit of fun. But as soon as I started, like I just wanted to. I just wanted to run it hard and see where my fitness was. So I went out to whatever a 10K should feel like. I think I went out a bit quick, probably like 325 pace, but just decided to just go on, see how I feel, like have enough experience to sort of, experience is one thing, but maturity to slow down is another thing. But I did 1Ks a week before that were still okay, like at an okay pace. So it just felt like I could still give it a bit of a crack. When you start like breathing really hard in a 10K, it gets pretty grim, and you can definitely feel when you're a little bit like deconditioned, which is sort of how I felt. But like if anything, it was a good mental test to just like have a really hard effort and keep your head in it. But yeah, it was good. It was a nice course. Like there was heaps of people. I think there was still like 12,000 people in the 10K, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah. Ended up running 34:55, which is a good benchmark to start building back up again.
Yep,
So,
there we go. That's solid.
Yeah.
35 on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I was happy. There was a lot of people clustered around 35. Like you can tell, it's like its own milestone.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I was down the. It's also awesome coming into the MCG.
Yeah.
But there was like a big, like people were just gunning for it because it's like pretty good barrier. Me included. Like I did want to dip under 35.
Yeah.
But following on from that, just really want to, obviously was at Delta as well with Dom, just did a good session and just want to start slowly building up and get fit again. Maybe just focus on doing one session and build up like the volume. But yeah, that's my update.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the main part of the interview. Should we?
Melbourne Marathon.
Yeah, tell us about the race. So,
Okay.
how was it?
So the race here. So in terms of the race itself on race days in.
Yeah.
So I came into the race. So I flew in Saturday night, Sunday morning was the race. What I thought strategically, I knew I saw your you recently did Berlin there in like 2:38, but then we went 74 the first half. And then
Yeah.
Similar to you last year with Melbourne, 2:74 first half and then 2:36. I thought
It's pretty much almost like
It's pretty much exactly the same.
yeah, but then 74, as you said, 74 minutes. That is my half marathon PB. So I said, no, obviously I don't want to do 74 minutes the first half.
no.
Yeah.
I was always thinking first half will probably be around about 79 is what I was looking at.
Yep.
I think also Soda. The previous episode, Soda did mention that I would be like just basically not going to be too swayed by what others are doing and so forth. So I always wanted to like kind of run my own race. I wasn't sure what kind of packs I would be in at first or so, but then I like ended up at first, the first 5K, I found this very large pack of guys who were trying to go sub 240. We got to halfway in to the first 5K in like 18:39. So I was looking for every 5K split because I didn't have the auto lap. I did it the manual lap and just did it at every timing mat there. And like, so I saw 18:39. So that's thereabouts. We're on about 18:40, 18:50 for each 5K split there. And then suddenly that group just took off for some reason. And I suddenly saw they were going 3:30. I was like, what are you doing at a 3:30 pace? We're trying to go at about 3:45 pace. So I decided to stay back, and then a few other guys, I was able to latch on. There was a few other guys of us here. So it was like maybe about half a dozen of us behind the main sub 240 group. There was, I guess, let's say one group, maybe 20 or so runners, and then maybe about like a fair bit behind, maybe 30 seconds back. It was like another group of us, maybe like about 5, 6 or so, and then so I just found that tempo, and then I felt that's thereabouts at 3:45 I was looking for. So I got to 10, 15, 20, halfway was in 78:49, so it was where I wanted to be, so around about 79 as I said. So we got there. Also, there were guys there I kind of thought I just wanted like maybe just tuck behind these guys actually, because I knew there was some exposed roads. Albert Park, there was a bit of exposed areas. St Kilda Beach was a bit open, exposed, so there was going to be a bit of wind there. So I thought there was like a few guys there. One guy in particular, I managed to like stick behind for a little while. So any time he would like maneuver across, I'll just do the same and then try and stick on his slipstream for a bit. I did that for a little while, and then halfway, and then gradually we wheeled ourselves back into that group of that large group there. And then we just like kept cruising along for like up until maybe about 30k, and then the group just started to splinter. Actually, it just went started to blow. Like some people started going backwards, some went ahead. I managed to like find myself go a little bit ahead in that group, which was so even though my pace didn't really increase that much, I think from 30 to 35 my split was like so I got to like 30, 35, it was like 18:27 or something like that. So like just under 18:30 for that split there. And then like I think so then, but then this is where like all the hills like start to kick in there, and then you almost like the way you hit the wall. And that it was also where 36k there was also, because we had personalized drinks as well. So I dropped a few drinks like a few like bottles at the station. So there's one at 11, one at 24, and then the last one was at 36. And it was like I kind of like it started to go up a bit, like the elevation a little, and then there was also the last table stop. So I had to grab the last drink there, and then I guess like I sort of lost contact with a few people there. Had to sort of reset like the pace a little bit. Then like the pace did start to like drop a little bit. Like went from like mid 340s to like low 350s ish, like 352 I think it was. And then at 38k I felt this cramp on my like I think it was my right calf where I started to feel cramping. And then I just thought to myself, just lock myself in, stand tall, and you'll deliver. That's all I had to do. Just keep the cadence up, and I'll still be able to hold on to this pace, because it's really delicate when you cramp in a marathon. If you go too far, you're gonna blow up, and then you could end up like, and your race is over, and then you either like just
Dom knows about that.
hobble to the finish if you can, as much as you can, but then I somehow like just held firm. I think there was a little bit of a downhill at 38k, which kind of helped ease off a bit of pressure, like in terms of like that cramp there. And then 40k was like, so 35 to 40k was like just over 19 minutes. That split was like 19:05 or something, and still 41 like, so it's still like a little bit slower than that 18:40, 18:50 that I was looking for, but still it wasn't too much.
We got the hills, and
especially when you compare to the previous marathons I've done. That is, we'll talk a bit more about that as we go. And then like in the finish line, it was like 41, 42. You're passing some of the other events as well, because there's like some of the other events were in there too. So you're passing those guys. Yeah. But then like I remember
everyone always whinges about that.
Yeah.
How'd you find it?
I'm usually one of those guys who doesn't really whinge much about these courses as much. Like I'm like, if it's flat, hilly, like if there's big packs or like sparse, like groups sparse or so, you kind of just, I guess at the end of the day, you sort of like sign up for this race. You have to like just play it to the conditions as well. Yeah. And then when I was approaching the finish line, I just felt another cramp was like just around my groin. It was like shit. I was like 300 meters ago. I was like, oh shit, there's another one in the groin. And then I thought, screw it. It's 300 meters ago. I just went bang, just tried to dash for the line, and then there we go. With 2:38.45. That was a 9.5 minute PB. So yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
Jeez.
huge. So
Amazing.
you didn't really slow down too much. And the big thing I noticed was, when you probably had, you could have had other ideas about the race. You sort of just stuck to your plan. So what did you, were you just going to lock into that no matter what, or did you get tempted? Did you get tempted at all to go another way?
As in accelerate or so.
Yeah.
I thought if I had the legs, maybe I could have like accelerated even more later down the track if it was possible. But obviously, like I knew, like I still wanted to try and lock in as much as I could, because I knew like sometimes when the going gets tough, like the best way I can manage it is to try and lock myself in. Is the best way just to manage whatever else is happening to me.
Yeah.
And then they'll get me through.
Okay. And what about what about nutrition? What did you?
You put your own drinks out.
Okay, so gels, I was using Spring Energy gels. So I had 5 gels on me. I actually also had the Cliff block as well. So that like the lolly cube things as well. So I had 5 Spring Energy gels and 1 Cliff block. So that's the Cliff block's about 2 gels equivalent. So it's about 7 gels there. And then drinks, I was using NIQ was the drink mix I was using. So that was like that used to be the SMH Half and City Surf drink for a little while, but then they've changed to another supplier now. But I've been using that for last couple, like maybe a year and a half or so. I've been using that one as my main like electrolyte source. So like just put 3, like actually I had 1 on me at the start and then 3 on the table, so that's 4 drinks there. Occasionally I did still like take the other race drinks, like you had like the Gatorade in the water, like just to try and like because I don't think you can like almost like I don't think you can really overload in the marathon in a way like try and take up as much nutrition electrolytes as possible, because you kind of think you don't know what's happening. If once you've blown up, then you've blown up and there's no way back really.
Absolutely.
So you're trying to like prepare for it earlier rather than wait till it's later down the track. Because I know some people like to use like their cramp fixes and so forth, but because I can't really consume vinegar, so it's like there's a definite out off the table for me.
What are the cramp fixes?
Cramp fix is like this really like
Pickle juice.
it's like kind of like sour, very like strong version of pickle juice or so.
Yeah.
It's like vinegary and like I can't even eat. It's been embarrassing. I can't even eat salt and vinegar chips. But yeah.
Will people also use like salt tablets as well?
Salt tablets. I probably thought about salt tablets. I did take salt tablets to me down, but I didn't carry it on me. Actually, I might have taken. Maybe did I can't even remember. I might have taken one just before like I left the hotel perhaps. I might have left it just before the hotel, so I just had that in me but it didn't actually carry any on me during the race, so yeah.
Okay. Obviously, Dom, you had cramps in your marathon, but
I think that was just a result of like going out too hard though.
Okay.
And like in the past, that's like the only time that I've had cramps is when I've gone out too hard, or I've been pushing myself too hard for that period of time. Like even if it's a 100k race, you can still go out too hard and get cramps, even if it's not like marathon pace.
Yeah, because we had a friend, Hayden, who ran Melbourne as well. He sort of had issues with cramps.
Yeah. I think cramps is just like a bit of a grey area still. Like
that's
no
why,
knows
like he
exactly.
said, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and he was feeling like pretty decent.
Was it difficult, like finding your bottles and stuff on the tables?
It was a little bit. I kind of like. I guess you kind of know what it looks like, obviously, because the fluid is like lemon lime yellow. So I kind of knew what it like. It had like just mine was just but they also had it like grouped it as per table number. They had like the table number, table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. I was table 17, so I knew had to reach that that table to get my bottle. So the sample size wasn't that big. It was still maybe about a dozen or maybe 15 or bottles over there.
Yeah.
I think once on the second bottle I accidentally knocked off someone else's bottle off there. Hopefully one of the volunteers was able to pick it back up.
I'm sure they would have. Yeah.
I'm sure they did. But yeah, I did accidentally.
I'll just move a bit closer.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Because I did accidentally like knock one off at the 24k mark there, and so it was kind of right in the moment there, and then but overall the bottles weren't too hard to find. Thankfully, I was worried for a moment that it would be difficult because I kind of hate like trying to stop and then reset the momentum and all that. Because when you do stop, especially in these longer runs here, the momentum you lose the momentum and then you have to start again in a way. So it's like one of those things I was a little bit concerned about, but fortunately for most part that was not as much of an issue, even though the last bottle was a bit harder when you've more or less just hit the wall and you've just hit the wall on a hill. So
What was hitting the wall like? You obviously didn't, because like you didn't slow down too much.
It was just like it felt like a little bit like of a twinge, like more than anything. It was like more twingy.
Okay.
I don't think like it was slightly, the cramping was like, it wasn't like excruciating. Fortunately, there was no excruciating cramps this time around. But yeah, it was like it was kind of like a bit of awareness, I'd say, is the way you can say it. But it was like manageable, but you also know you're kind of in a delicate position. So like I knew it was just going to be just lock your like self in, not like I guess maneuver too hard, like in terms of like your arms and so forth and that. And then like I've kind of like just keeping the cadence up was one of the things that I've like learned to like improve like over the last maybe 5 or so years. It's like it's really like cadence has been one of the key parts of me as a runner, that is. So yeah, it's like try and keep the cadence up and then like try and stand compact and tall. And yeah
Oh, good. Overall it was probably one of the best races I've seen pacing wise. So it's like
78:49 first half, 79:56 second half. So it's only a minute difference between the two halves there. So it's like, and especially when the second half's hilly. So it's like, so if you take away the hill, it's like almost dead even, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you know anyone out on course like that was with you? Or?
That was on me. No, I didn't really know anyone like there. There was like all these other guys, mostly like local. I guess they were mostly locals in that as well. So I didn't like run with anyone that I knew during the race. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the build. So when did you? How long did you build for this particular race? And maybe just run us through the general structure and stuff like that.
All right. Okay. So this was an 18-week training block. This one I started
18.
18. Yeah. So most of the weeks were around about the like 120, 130k mark was the most part of it.
Yep.
So the first half of the block was just trying to rebuild the aerobic capacity. So I guess like, and also just trying to enjoy running as much as I could as well. Like, because I guess like in the previous build was the SMH half runaway training block, that one.
Yeah.
That was definitely really that was one of the tougher blocks there, because that was because I was after after a particular time, and then it dates back to several years back, actually, many years back.
This is with the half, yeah.
Like with the half I'd run away, so SMH half was known as, so that one was in, so managed to get through that one there.
You've had a bit of a vendetta with that race, have you?
Sort of, yeah. I think we'll talk about it a little little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, the marathon itself, it was an 18-week training block. First, I promised myself just to try and enjoy it the process more than anything.
Yeah.
First half was just about rebuilding the aerobic capacity, getting the mileage back up. Because I guess weeks after that race there, I'd had a bit of hip soreness for a few weeks. So mileage dropped to 50 k's for a couple of weeks, and then just gradually get it back up to about 120 for that. And then but then there's sessions. What I was doing in the week usually. Monday would normally be recovery run. You do Tuesday Monday, Tuesday is generally recovery run. Wednesday I do like Wednesday or Thursday, one or the other. I'll do a sessions some sort. Like I had done a few different squads there. So like I had done a couple with like Pace Athletic Roselle was one of them. The other one was King's Cross on Track Club on Thursday as well. So there's those sessions I sort of alternated for a little while. Even though I was doing King's Cross more frequently. And then there was also like this other, like a few of my other mates, like, you know, you guys probably know Steven, and then like a few, Aaron was in this as well a bit, and a few others, like they were all targeting Sydney Marathon, and they like kind of say it's marathon season. Like they were training for Sydney, I was training for Melbourne, and then I was like, this is where I kind of did my midweek long run there. So we'd like meet up at the Marina Square shopping centre in Rhodes, and then we just like go around like Meadowbank, Rhodes Park Run, and all all that regions for a little bit. Like I just at first it was just like maybe about 15k for the first little while, and then gradually during the block I made it into a proper midweek long run, so like 25k. And then you have Thursday, Friday would be an easy day. I would get a little bit more time because I finished work earlier on Friday, so it was nice to do a run in daylight during that time of the year. Because like when during most of my days it was like I'll do like some doubles like for 4:45, 4:45 in the morning. It's pitch black there, and I have to get to work by 7:30, and it's an hour drive. So it's like, so you do an hour, shower, breakfast, and then head to work. So, and then get back to work from work, it's like pitch black again. So if I were to double, it's like dark in the morning, dark in the night. So like having like doing like a Friday, like Friday in the Arvo, it's always nice just having a bit of daylight, which now we've got daylight at this time of the day, which is good now. So yeah. And then Saturday would usually be, for me, is usually park run for me. So as you guys know, I'm usually at the one in St. Peters is the one
your park run.
That's the one I'm normally at. So yeah, for the first half of the block, when I was still building aerobic capacity, I was just still trying to gun it actually, like full gun it, because I thought close to PB shape. I feel I can slice it down a bit. It took a little while to like kind of like swing and a miss. So it's like I thought my PB there's 16:25. I feel like I should be running like quicker than that. I had done 16 flat on the track earlier in the year, so I thought they should bridge the gap across a bit. So, and then I was still running like 16:30, 16:40. I even had got beaten by a 13-year-old. So yeah,
there's some pretty quick 13-year-olds.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I was like, because I started running at 13. So yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that was when I was like started running, and then someone else was already going on a 17 at 13 already. I was like, jeez. Oh god. So I even had been beaten by a 13-year-old at one stage, and then I remember the week before City Surf, it finally just stuck, and then I was like, it just felt like it was one of those clutch moments where you just got 16, 19, 6 seconds off. It was like there was this clutch PB, and I was like, yes, we've got that there. So actually, before we did that, we had a couple of tune-up races as well throughout the Melbourne Marathon build. The main one was Festival of Feet in Georges River. This was in a couple of weeks into the training block. So this one I won it last year in 2022. So I did want to go back to back. It's another half marathon event. I was tempted about the course record at the time, but then I thought 7 weeks after the SMH half, I was like, it's going to be a bit of a stretch to like try and go for the record, because like at the time, like the course record was like 75:13, and my PB at the time was 74:57, so it was like 16 seconds.
Yeah.
So like I was like, at first I thought maybe I can go for it, but then when I thought it's probably a bridge too far, just safely get the back-to-backs. So it was like 76:51 was the time for that. So nice. That was solid. It was because it's 3-lap hilly course as well. So it's like 3 laps worth of hills, so set free time by 7k. And then yeah, so that was the first tune-up race. Then City Surf, which is bang on the halfway point of the training block. So that is like 9 weeks down, 9 weeks to go. So I guess I came into City Surf thinking is like like I'll want to like still run it hard as I can, but not like I don't think fully emptying the tank, because I knew I had some like some real serious work ahead of me.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted to make a big effort on Heartbreak Hill, especially.
Yeah, which we
So
found out. Yeah.
So like I remember just cruising through the first like maybe 6k, like maybe around 3:25 pace or something like that. And then I see the map for the Heartbreak Hill, start of Heartbreak Hill map. I was like, whoop, whoosh, here we go, and then just go. You
just went head down,
just went all balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall, yeah.
I know, yeah, like just go up and then.
Were you just dropping people?
Yeah, I was like passing a lot of people up to the top. There was like I think it was 30 people end up passing on Heartbreak Hill there. So I was like
30 people.
I went from like 80 odd to like 50 odd in the position wise. So yeah. And then like
that's like quality runners as well. Like, far out.
How cooked were you when you got up the top?
I still I don't know. I wouldn't say fully cooked, because I knew I just wanted to go, like it was kind of like still got to like run like the tempo I was after, like afterwards. It's like
okay.
Still up and down a bit. I remember I caught Eloise Wellings at 90k. I remembered, and I passed Eloise as well. And then I remember just before the downhill, because I knew downhill isn't really my like big strength. Is not really my like strength, that is like more the other way. I remember like Chris Gatt, who I did pass on the hill, he just
Did
like
you wave at him? Hello, Chris.
and then he and then he just I found, and then he just got back onto me just before the down, and then it was just I had to try and hang on to the back of him really on the downhill. So
he said he saw you just absolutely charging, like it was just like
yeah. I know, yeah, because like I remember just like, and then on the way down, I was just trying to hang on to the back of him for that, and then I think like Ainsley Van Graan like also like came in, like so the second female there, so you had like 3 women, and like the first winner was Neve Allen, then you got Ainsley Van Graan and Eloise Welling. So it was like I had passed Eloise, so it's like, I guess you get a bit starstruck when you're running beside a 2-time Olympian as well. It's like someone like that kind of caliber, and you're thinking, how am I running next to a 2-time Olympian here? So, and then you get and then like trying to go downhill, like I know, because I knew there were a lot of people would be like relative, like guys with similar PBs to me, they're going to be a lot stronger downhill. From what I observed, they would they can really race down pretty quick. I know you race down quite a bit on downhill pretty quick, I believe.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah.
But
especially around Centennial down that big hill when we're on a long run. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where I almost always fall over there, and you can keep.
That one
you
around
can keep
Queen's
your
Park.
balance.
Queen's Park. Yeah,
I don't know how you do that.
Yes, I know. Queen's Park. Yeah, I remember. There's a bit of a steep incline on Queen's Park, isn't there? Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, and then just going down, and then I thought I would have kind of liked to have done like gone under 48. I did get 48.01, but then I had an elite bib, so then they had my timing chip actually went off at the gun rather than at the mat. So it was like sort of like, I guess with the elite bibs they go off earlier than like a preferred start. So
do they not follow the mat?
Like the elite start is just off the gun really.
Oh really? Yeah.
Right. They just do it off the gun and then straight out. So I think this is why Harry Summers, like a few years back, like
he didn't get the record.
He technically got the record, but wasn't officially given the record because of the chip thing, the chip thing. So yeah.
Is that like normal, or is that just
I'm not sure. Like it's just
I think it'd be like Berlin Marathon.
Like the elites,
if they start the gun and then there's a timing mat further down or whatever, then they'll just go off the gun time. They won't take the mat time.
Yeah, like for the elites, they like, because I managed to get an elite bib off the sun run time I got. I managed to get an elite bib there because it was only like sub 34 for a 10k to get an elite bib.
Was it cool getting an elite bib?
Yeah, it was nice to get one, like an elite bib. Like it's almost going from like because all these years I was like running with like UNSW Society, so it's kind of going from big fish in small pond to small fish in big pond. So it's like you go from that to one pool of people to another, and then you like going up against all these other like bigger names. You've got like international, like national, international representatives and all that, from when you are in like a seeded start there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then after that race,
So yeah, this is where we started the famous
Big Bad Sunday
SLR
long-
workouts.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is where
where
I
did you
thought-
get that? This just come out,
I
inspiration
actually
come out of
started.
nowhere.
I actually did one edition of Big Bad Sunday Long Run workout last year's Sydney Marathon build, but then I think after last year when I did 2:48, because I did cramp up a fair bit towards the end and my pace did drop off a fair bit. I was going from 3:55s to 4:20s in the last 5 or so k. So it was like you can see the gap. You see how the gaps have gone. So let's say. So this was my fourth marathon like I've done. The first one I did was back in 2019. That was the previous three were all Sydney. So first one's 2019 in Sydney.
What was
went
the
3:03 31. So I was trying to go sub 3 and then I got to halfway in like 88 or something like that, and then last 3k went from like 4:20 to 5:20. I was like really just shuffling the last couple of k. So I was basically going from like marathon race pace to like recovery, like easy recovery run pace, because couldn't drive my legs at all.
That's humbling, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's like I think
It's
that
so
was
tough.
Yeah, that was coming off like 60-70k week training blocks as well, and that was one thing. And then last year was like 2:48 off like 110k week. So I was like, but then I realized that I think most of my long runs were like, I got all my long runs up in distance, but then I wasn't doing a lot of like pure like goal paced, not as much goal paced
This
stuff
is
there.
for the 248
248 block, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like, so I was like, I remember like, I think I did. So there was one Big Bad Sunday long run workout there, and that was like it was a 7x2 mile with a 1k jog recovery, but that was the only one like I properly did. Like I did like a few others, like I did like a 35k in shocking weather with some of the other boys like Soda, Steven, I think Aaron was there as well.
It's a bit of character building.
A few others and it was like the last 10k was like I wanted to do like those guys started a little bit later, so I did 10k already, and then they all hopped in, and it was like 25k in the last 10k. I wanted to add goal pace, but then these ones here like almost like not not in the same kind of like caliber as what I was doing this time around. It's like I wanted like bigger chunks in this kind of goal pace zone.
Yeah.
So I guess sort of like I know you guys had Matt Gore earlier this like a few months ago as well, where he did like this spicy Sunday long run series.
Yeah.
So there's, I guess, it was a little bit of like inspiration. I needed to do a block of like really focused marathon long running for like a block there. So he did like I think four like spicy
Huge, like
spicy series. Yeah,
long
he
runs,
called them like the spicy
Yeah,
long run.
that
I
was
think
spicy.
It was. Yeah, so I was like, I've had this like Big Bad series. So first one was like again another that's 7x2 mile with a 1k jog recovery was the first one. Then the next week, the second of it was like a 3x7k. So that was at goal pace, and then I was like bay run, and then the recovery was like a 2.5k of like the Greenway Park Run tail, the Greenway Park Run section there, and then afterwards I'll do like a 3x5. 500 meters at slightly quicker than goal pace. So it's just to try and see if we can get the legs to accelerate a bit in the back half. So it's like you had a 36k at 405, 35k like 405 pace average when you average out when you have the goal pace, which is like 345, and your off pace, which is more about 430, 440, something like that. And then it's like, so you get like 35, 36k, about 440, 405 pace or so for a long run. And then the week after that was Sydney half. So this is where my current half marathon PB was. So like, I guess I thought like, I wasn't sure whether I was going to play it safe or like go hard or not at the time. I thought I was going to go maybe maybe I'll just like play it safe, just like roll through it in maybe 78, 79 minutes. But then I thought, yeah, like this is like known to be a fairly like quick field. You'd have some really quick guys there. I could get a PB here even at like without going 100% balls to the wall. I thought like, I think even like I was still and ahhing, and then the day before I'd like just tempoed, like I just did a like park run tempo, an 18-minute tempo, and then I was starting to get a comment like after saying 74 minutes, come on. I was like, okay, fine. I was like,
who from Arthur?
Yeah, I was after he wrote that. And then I thought, okay, yeah, let's just see if we can run about 74 minutes, and it turned out to be about right, about 90% tempo effort, I think it was. I'd say it was, and then sliced off another 27 seconds off the PB, so 74:30. So that was the third week in that kind of phase, and then
the splits consistent the whole way through.
I think it was maybe a slight slowing towards the back end. I think it was like very very slightly. So like mostly because it was like average pace. Maybe tangentially, I probably could have done a little bit better tangentially, I think, because I got like 21.4. I think some of the curves I could have cut the like legally cut corners a bit better, I think. So that might have been a few seconds here or there, but I think because I was around about a 3:30 pace, thereabouts. The last couple came maybe like 3:32s, I think, on average the last few k, and then like so that was that one. Then so by then it was I think was it 6 was it. No, 6 weeks to go at that point. So then 5 weeks to go from the race. It was, this was a 25. I went to Parramatta Park. I started with a 9K warm up, and it went 25Ks at goal pace. It was like just around 8 laps of Parramatta Park, and you had Parramatta Park. There's like this hill at the entrance of it.
Yeah.
So I thought this would simulate that hill at 36K in Melbourne. So like. It was tougher to go each time, but then I was still like holding the pace for that. So it was like 25K for like 94 minutes or so. So it was like pretty much just under the goal of 240 there. So and like I was doing laps and that. I had like my bottles, like the bottles on top of my car. I think still sometimes you just kind of almost like crash into like you body slam into the car and just like pick the bottle up and then and then keep going again.
Yeah.
So maybe that might have prepped me for the bottled things.
Actually,
the bottle at the
stopping there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get lazy in the long run. Well, not lazy, but like you don't always practice properly.
Yeah,
that's right.
I usually just stop and have a drink.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, because I'm like people who know me, like even you see some of Soda's videos. I usually run with a bottle myself. I always want to do like a long runs. I always wanted to have a bottle because I'm not a fan of like big stops in the long run because it's more, as I said previously, momentum reasons as well. I know I get a bit fickle with like a bit pedantic with elapsed time, and that's kind of just a bit of me, like being that bit picky at sometimes, and that so that was episode 3 of Big Bad there, and then the next one was actually Sydney Marathon. So
that's right. Yeah.
So originally, like when I did Sydney last year, I was thinking I was already thinking I wanted to go to Melbourne for the race because I thought finish by the MCG. I want to see the Statue of Warney as well, and then I was like, I want to go I'm going to go down to Melbourne, and then I saw Sydney. Like they said, they're going to become a major, $42 for a ticket, and then I saw 4 weeks. It was because it was like normally Sydney and Melbourne are 2 weeks apart. But then this time around it was 4 weeks apart. So I thought, okay, maybe I might do this. I just whacked it on Instagram saying, should I do this or not? And then overwhelming yes vote there.
Well, that's always gonna.
That was an overwhelming yes vote. So I thought, yep, sold 4 weeks. It's just outside my taper period as well. So done. I'm gonna do that probably as some kind of Sunday long run. And then when I got to Sydney Marathon, I just thought I'm just going to take this as a progressive long run. So started nice and easy. So like first 5K was like 24 minutes. So it was like 3:20, about 3:20 marathon pace, and then it gradually goes up like 22 minutes, 21 minutes, 20, 19, or like just each 5K split just creeps up.
Yeah.
So you get like you pass people's wall and that like, so it's like sort of like in a way it's fun, but some people might think I guess sorry about that. Some people might have done a bit dirty, like just doing it that way, just like passing people. It's like sort of
That's
like.
right. Just nailing your marathon.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone
It's
else
just like
needs to
passing,
get fitter.
just feel like
passing the marathon, like
inspiration.
People, yeah. Just like going like from 24 and then like I remember 30K like so I got to halfway at like 94 minutes, so that would have been a 3:08. It would have been like 3:08, and then I just like going into Centennial, and then I got to 30K, and I was suddenly like on track to go about 3 hours, and then like. And then 35K, and then 35 to 40 was like 18:30 for that section, and that was with Mrs. McQuarrie's chair with the hill there, and then like I remember going there like I remember seeing my other mate Daniel Balliot. I think he said something about like you'll crush this hill or something like that. I think I heard something like that, and then Mrs. McQuarrie's chair just went across and then the 40K marker there, and then just like cruised down, and then it was like somehow 2:55 as just a long run there. I thought I was originally when I got to the start line, I was thinking it's probably going to be about 3:10 I think, but then ended up being 2:55 for that long run there. So it was just a pure progressive. And then one of my other friends who went 2:58, he's like I said to him the day before when I saw him at the expo, don't make me past you, and then I passed him, and then said, "Oh, it did me dirty." I was like, "Oh, sorry, man," but you still did well because you're passing guys who were like sub 3, some who weren't guys who weren't even blowing up. I was still like passing because they were going like 4:15, and I was going like 3:40. It's like it's like at that phase. I remember I saw like the story, like Matt put this story up, and then I didn't realize it at the time. And then I had another listen, and then I heard him say, "Ian will be so pissed with this," and he didn't realize I was just doing this as a long one. He forgot that I wasn't targeting this one as the A race.
Who thought that?
This was Matt Gore.
Like
he was filming everyone on course. He was filming a lot of people there, like all your deltas, your soda as well, and then a few others, and then I suddenly listened back to it, and then I heard Ian will be so pissed with this. He didn't realize it because at that time I was only just ahead of the 3 hour group.
Yeah, I think someone probably corrected him on that one.
Yeah. And I just checked if that was what he actually said, and I was like, oh, sorry, I thought you forgot that you weren't going all out on this one here. And then
How did you feel towards the end of the run? Like, were you?
I was pretty good, pretty fresh actually on this one here, which is a rarity for a marathon. You don't come into a marathon, finish a marathon, and feel fresh, which is rare. So
yeah, I think that speaks to your like the volume and
because the week earlier was my longest week of the training block, 140.8. That was the biggest week I had in terms of the like training block that was, and then even that week was still 130, and then the week after it was like the week after I did like I just did like a 32K to 2 hours at goal pace, 20 miles, exactly 2 hours worth of it. And then, so 32K, and then that was pretty much nailed, and then it was time to just taper then. So, and then 3 weeks to taper, and then we went to the race. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. But all the weeks, like pretty much from the start of the block, were pretty high in terms of mileage. Like, you kept it quite consistent.
Yeah, right? I think overall, it was pretty consistent. It's like started to build it back a bit first, like, because I started off with, like, not as much for a little while, like going from 50, then get back to the 100 and going 114, 120 odd, and then like holding around that 120, 134 for pretty much for the rest of the block. It was just like the intensity started to increase after the second half. Like I guess actually intensity like shifted in a way. Because the first half I was like more intensity. I thought I've still got a bit of 5K window here. Let's still give it a go. So it was like kind of more of the fast switch stuff for a bit, and then after the halfway point when I like basically shut the 5K window down, and then it's just when you shut the 5K window down, it's like the intensity is more focused to the longer stuff. So I'll go to a King's Cross track, and then like say I'll want to normally if I were to target a 5K, I would be trying to go maybe 3:10s or something. But then I was like sort of like in conservation mode in a way, like maybe drop it to maybe at 3:20 or so for the workout, and then like so it's like you kind of almost like shift your like the fast twitch, slow twitch stuff from one end to the other when you because where you're focusing on. But then like I guess overall the mileage was still pretty much the same. So yeah.
And so in terms of this block, what are you doing? Creating all the sessions yourself, like? Is this you're not being coached by
I'm not
right?
actually because I'm not actually coached myself. Like I guess like with the King's Cross sessions, if I go to all pace athletics sessions, I'll like do whatever session they do. Sometimes I might modify it to like suit what I've like do. So say I do like a float recovery. Sometimes I'll do during the session instead of like just taking the stationary rest at times. But then what Sunday long run workouts were just like kind of a bit of like there's a few inspirations I guess, like hearing like I guess some of the other podcasts like you guys, like Inside Running as well was another big one I've like hear a bit. And then like I guess like sort of I guess part of it was a bit of intuition like from previous years of training, how this how it should work as well, like what I kind of need to do, like and put this kind of like put like as much more like harder like volume in within the long runs more when I got to that phase. But then of course you have to like focus on your recovery as well, because doing those weeks on end you still have to like do your easy runs. You can't just do like a heavy long run and then like go for another heavy session, every park run, heavy like all these like hard runs all together. You still have to like throw in your like easy runs. So like so you like a pace, say like a 5:25, 30 paced easy run for like maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I'd often do like a few of those a week. So so you'd say at least half the mileage would be like pure easy. And then
what do you focus on for easy? Is it just you're not like keeping in a particular pace or anything?
Not really. It's just on feel, because I guess like I try to like on the easy runs just turn off the auto lap at that point. Maybe just like keep it on the heart rate screen as well, so I kind of don't know the distance and time as well. Like the heart rate is really generally about very similar, like 130, 140 on the easy run anyway. So it's like so I kind of know where it's going to be. But
wrist
like,
heart rate?
Yeah, I'm just using a wrist heart rate for now. Yeah. But like it's like consistent. So like I feel like if it's consistent, then I can just like stick with that, use that kind of measure there. And then it's just like just take those ones like just easy, like just sometimes just cruise along with like the podcasts on, like you'd hear like you'd see on Strava, you would say to IRP, to WTC, to CRC, to the imperfects. Like there's mainly four podcasts I'd rotate between during these ones. So yeah.
What's CRC?
So IRP is obviously Inside Running. Inside Running. WTC is you guys, obviously. Yep. TRC is the running channel. So the running channel podcast, and then you also have the Imperfects. So I've got four like mainly four podcasts. 3 of them running. One is not really running related.
The Imperfects. What's that one?
That's like just so there's this guy Hugh Van Kallenberg. Like it's more like guys talk about like vulnerability and like mental health and that.
Right.
I did recently. I guess sometimes you have now. Soda's got WRP Wave Running podcast as well. So I have to make sure.
Number 5.
I have to make sure I mention that. Otherwise, he might. He might have a go at me. So I guess it's a bit of a reminder he needs to put another episode up. So yep. So there hasn't been one for a little while. So
it's a lot of work put into doing the YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So so you'd have those like, so just rotate between these podcasts during like mostly the easy runs and that, and then so it's like two. So you would have 2 long runs. So one the main Sunday long run. So your 35k, your midweek one, which is like your 23, 25 with the other boys at Rhodes in there, and we'll just go to Coles and just buy this quick sale there.
I have seen that. Yeah,
There's some dirt cheap discounts there.
I normally see photos with just this big spread of
I know.
of different
Yeah,
things.
like the other day I missed out last week. They bought 97-cent 2 litre oat milk.
Oh, wow.
That's his dream. If you love oat milk, don't you? Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so it's like dirt cheap. Like I remember I bought like kangaroo sausages for like $2 when it was $8. It was like 75% off. I was like, yep, done. Yes, a lot of it's you just get it at a time. They just put the labels on and then cash in on all the cakes and sausage
stuff.
rolls and meat pies and so forth. So it's like, yeah. And that was like basically the spread there. So we'll be joining them tomorrow evening for hopefully another one of them. And I guess bit of unwinding because last week when they were doing that, Aaron decides to call me during their run. I was like on the train back from the city to the hotel, and Aaron calls me saying. Aaron calls me because saying I'm missing out on all this stuff, and then they'll like video call over there while they were running. It's like, yep, okay. We're going a bit off the topic now. So
this is the podcast for that.
Overall the training block was like, so you had 2 long runs, you had one speed session, a park run generally. Like first half it was like more all out, then the second half was more like tempo efforts, and then pretty much everything else is just recovery for like. So I guess it's more the workload's more like heavy based on the second half of the week. So from the weekend, like so say Wednesday, Thursday onwards, and then like from Monday to Wednesday, like the first half of the week's like all like easy. It's just easy running completely. So it's like that's how like I've structured it. So one half is just easy, then the other half you do the hard yards. So
it's not a bad way to do it.
I think it was just more because how my work schedule plans out too. So I'm like 7:30 to 4 is my 4:30 on Monday to Thursday, and then 2:30 on Fridays is when I finish. So it's like I play it also with my own schedule because everyone has their own like schedule too to like play around with. So you've got to also play with that because you can't just like just think for the sake of getting this run in you need to do it at this or that time or so forth. You got to play with your own schedule too to make sure it works with you.
Definitely, sure. And that's pretty good insight into the marathon. But how did you like start running? Like
we have
yes, the humble beginnings. Hey, so
13 we know now.
So I started in high school. So I was from Sydney Boys. So like you guys are obviously very familiar with the AA GPS system as you boys are from Riverview. So yep. So it's like the AA GPS, you have like the summer sport, the winter sport, and that. I was like playing a bit of cricket in summer. Not too great at it. Let's face it. Had a batting average of 5. At least it's double the infamous Kiwi quick Chris Martin. But yeah, it wasn't that great. But bowled a few leg spinners and got whacked around for the first few years, and then suddenly we found some better catches and got a lot of wickets in the last couple. Including my last match, my second last match, I got 5 on your home turf actually. At one of your St. Ignatius turf pitches, I managed to get a 5 in my second last game.
Oh wow!
And so it was like, I guess retire on a high.
Yeah.
Back
leg
to
spin,
leg spinner.
Yeah, right.
Nowhere near the res what the late SKW did, but yeah, it was a fair bit of fun there. But then winter was always. Winter, like originally didn't really have much of a sport, but ended up going cross country in the end. For the first few, so like I was like doing okay during the cross country like scene there. Like in my in my like school like division, we didn't really place very highly for the first couple of years actually. Like I guess my first like main like role model would be Stephen. So Stephen's actually the year above me. So he's class of 2014, I'm class of 2015. So he was like always one of like the role models I've always like looked up to from the beginning.
You've known him since back then.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. He's been one of the guys I've known since the beginning of my running journey. That is. So yeah. So
Did he start back then?
Yeah. So
So
he
he's
started
been-
from the beginning. Like obviously he's like a year above me, so he finished the year before me as well.
So he's
And-
doing cross country.
Yeah,
did you
cross
say?
country.
Okay.
Yeah, cross country there. Yeah.
Yep.
And then I was like for the first like in my division, we were dominated by a fella from Shaw called Ed Goddard actually. So he was the one who was usually winning all the races in my time.
That makes sort of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So that he was, but then like in terms of this is kind of where I got like modeled how I ran as well, because we were running up Mount Steele was like a big part of our training program.
It's steep.
Yeah, it is steep. We do that a lot of hill sprints up and down there. I remember the coach, like our coach, he was like sort of more like, he was just one of the like teachers in the school, like he was like an industrial arts teacher, prefects master as well. Mr. Kesting that was, he was like, he used to like tell us you kind of need you always want to attack the hills and then like ease down on these like repeats, like you always want to attack the hills a lot. And then I remember, so it's like this is kind of where mentality always want to go hard on the hills as hard as I can, because this is like because they're always going to be hard. Like you can almost like find people out on a hill when you like see people struggle on them. Like on the flat, you can like they can kind of be normal, like things can be normalized, but then on the hill it's like you almost like find people out. Almost a bit like say like Grand Tour cycling, for example. You like your Tour de France, Giro and Vuelta there. You see like the pure sprinters, they kind of like almost sit on their team and then they sprint for the victory on the flat courses. But then on the mountains, those people like the pure like the proper like GC riders, the climbers, and they go into their fall. And then you see like on like a general classifications, you have like the actual proper like all-round riders at the top, and then the sprinters more kind of like always just struggling to
get through,
to like make the cut, because it's like I always see that as a bit of a like that kind of like very similar analogy, because you want to attack the gradients a lot, was what I thought. And then I remember there was this one instance where like Mr. Kesting like told us like because I think because this was when I was in year 9, I think it was like he like and Stephen was in year 10, so it was like we was like kind of separate, because year 9, 10 is like training sport day was different. The seniors was like Wednesday, your juniors was on Thursday. And he said like something about saying Stevens said he placed really high because he knew how to attack the hills on. This was at Sydney Park, this particular race I remembered, and then like he placed pretty well. That day I don't think I placed very well at all. I think I threw up at the end of that race. I think it was probably the only time might not have thrown up, might have been the only time I really threw up. And yeah, I remember I didn't have a pair of shoes. Like I was running in trackies for some reason that day as well. It's pretty embarrassing. I've never done so ever since. But yeah,
Live and learn.
yeah. Well, I don't even own a pair of trackies now. I just like just like hop out. Like even if it's like need to travel somewhere to even in the cold, I'm like, no, I'm not even worried about that anymore nowadays. But yeah.
You just discarded
No more
trackies for
trackies.
life.
Yeah,
That's it.
I've basically discarded
That's it.
trackies for life. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And you got your revenge on Sydney Park as well,
yeah.
becoming like the park run champions.
Yeah, I guess so. So like, yeah. So I think this was it this particular year? So year 7, year 8 was like started to get like really like start placing fairly highly. Like I guess for most of my time I was kind of like either it was like top mid pack or bottom top pack or so. So rank about 20th, 30th. So was
pretty
where I was
solid
like
still, yeah.
fairly solid, but not like out of like 80 odd 90 odd runners, but not like the very top tier. So like where you're pushing for like GPS CAS selection, since that's the top 8 to get into that. So like I know Stephen almost got into that, but then he like just missed out. I remembered but as a team itself, for a little while we weren't really placing very high. I was placing like 6th, 7th, so like near the bottom for the first couple of years, and then so the Schofield twins came along in 2013, and then so like obviously
Their
Luke and
weapons, I think.
Luke and Jay and Schofield, they're
Yeah.
now like really strong triathlete runners now, triathletes now. So like, and then suddenly we like going up the table, like going the top half of it as well. Like it like almost like went across the other divisions too gradually, and then so then I remember also year 10. When I was in year 10, that was also when the Schofields came in year 9. I think this was kind of where I learnt how to like sort of like try and push through pain barriers more. Because I remember I got like picked up with an ankle injury like midway through this season, and then it was the training schedule at the time. We started having a few old boy coaches as well, but then it was not the most ideal trainings like schedule. I think it was like maybe it was like a Monday start of the week, and then you had Wednesday or Thursday sport day, and then Friday you had to do another session. The session before the race, in hindsight now, that was like almost silly in a way, just doing it the day before the race, and then I was like limping at the end of the Friday session. The Friday session was I didn't really enjoy it as much, but I was able to like learn how to push through it, push through the pain barrier, and then get through Saturday and run. Like still run like fairly well, like as with that, but then at the end of that season I almost succumbed to the injury and all that for the last like 2 races of the meet, and then so it was like, so I guess the following year they like restructured it, so it was like a Monday and Tuesdays, you're doing your training on Monday, Tuesday, and then you have your Wednesday or Thursday, and then your Saturday race was and that's how the Sydney Boys cross country setup is now since. So it's like you have Monday and Tuesday training day. I think one of them would be like LSD, like long steady distance, and then like another day will be a session, and like 2 sessions and a long steady distance, and then you have the race, and then and then the other days you just have to just give the like boys a bit of recovery as well. So that was that, and then year 11 so I decided to actually run up the age group in year 10. So because I knew that, because you know how you need 4 runners for the point score. The point score needs 4 runners to count. And then I kind of saw in the opens age group, it was like you'd only have 3 runners, and then the 4th one was like big. There was a big gap there. So I decided I'd go up and try and bridge the gap up, and then so I got 3. Ended up getting 3 first grade singlets or first grade teams as a result from that. So like going the opens 3 times. So one of them when I was like a little bit like when I was 16, and the other 2 at 17, 18 when you're traditionally in the open age group there. And in year 11, 12, I actually while I was having a reasonable time in the like AAGPS, the like CHS side, so like the zone regional state cross country, I didn't really have much of an impact, because I guess like in the summer when I was playing cricket, I wasn't like running as much. I wasn't running as much in the summer at the time. So then, and I guess I started doing a few like runs in the summer, like Stephen decided to organize a few holiday runs and so forth, and then we did a few like runs there, and then I finally cracked zone after all these years. Like I was coming I remember I came 14th, 15th, 17th. I couldn't and so I couldn't get into the zone, and it's like you need to be in the top 10. And then in year 11 I came 4th at the school carnival, and then I won zone. I went from going from 4th at school to winning zone, and in regionals I came 7th. So I went from never being to zone to going to state in just in year 11. It was like unreal, just like going up to state across country, just at Eastern Creek and that. So and then we did it again in year 12 as well. So so I guess I think the previous year might have taught me a bit about it, and also like pushing through the pain barrier, and then also having a bit more of a like running a little bit more in the summer, whereas the previous years I wasn't. So that was kind of like helped there. But I think when you when I was finishing high school and then going to uni, I guess that taught me another thing about you just shift in different phases in running, and then you learn a bit more about yourself, about your body, what you can do. But I think when I was in high school, I didn't really understand why I was running these sessions or this or that. I was just trying to run them to my best of my ability, and that's about it. I was just to follow what I was told. So the staff, and then we also had we also hired like the Schofield's coach, Danny Andres from Pulse Performance. So we had him like coaching us for a little while as well. But then like for a while, like I was just like following all the sessions, but like I obviously didn't understand why. It was just run to from A to B was always was all I thought about. But then like I think because at uni I was like joined the like UNSW running society for there, and I became an exec. I started out like first couple of years was just as a general member. I'd enter a few road races, so like SMH half, city surf, Blackmore's well the Sydney Marathon it's called now, but then Blackmore's I was only doing the half for the first few years, and then like I got the times down, and I was obviously like going to parkrun as well, because when I left high school, I was like wanted something to fill the void in terms of like that Saturday morning I've missed out on.
Yeah.
So that's where like coming parkrun each week became a thing there, and I started just hitting parkrun all the time, like because I guess St. Peter's was originally where like Stephen first introduced me to it, like back in 2013. He first introduced to me. He already had done quite a few under the belt. And then I think like first time I did it there, and then I started becoming a regular once I finished high school. Like I knew I was going to probably focus more on running, because I knew I was not good enough for cricket. I didn't want to face 140k fast bowlers. I'll get some broken bones for sure. There was no way I was wanting to. I'm happily retired on a 5-wicket horse. So thank you very much for that. So I went to so I started to just do a few I was hitting parkrun each week. At the time I was about maybe just over 20 minutes. I did go 1936 in year, like just before going to my second state carnival, where I came 44th in that one. The first one I came 60th and then 44th. It was 24th out of the government schools, because you have all the private schools and all that as well in there. And then it was like they had the school teams thing too, so then end up with a bronze medal there too. So that was cool. So, but then going into post high schools, like I was hitting up parkrun regularly, like going to I was training up for the kind of moved from the cross country to the road. This is where I moved from cross country to road here. So I was like running a lot of. So like entering like a few, like it was like 2 halves and a city surf was the kind of my road races, and then the parkrun each week. So it's like I'll just try and gun parkrun all the time, because at the time, because I guess I was not as quick then. I was like 19-20 minutes. I was stuck around that for a long time, and then I remember stuck at 20 minutes for a while, and then it took me a lot of time before I finally broke my PB. And then so my first half was back in 2016 actually. So SMH half, that was 98.53. So now 38. So that was it was a decent effort. It was about maybe 4:40 pace, I think it was, on average for that half marathon debut. But and that was off maybe like a 40k week or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was still doing about 40k week through for the next couple of years really. So like I'd go to like say the UNSW Runstock social run, and then to go to park run, and then like maybe do like a long run in the middle of the week. At the time I was doing long runs in the middle. I just put my bag in the uni gym, lock it up in their locker, and then just go run to Centennial and just do a couple of laps there and head back or something. Or sometimes go to like your Coogis or your Bondis or so forth, and just go there and back from. That was how my long runs used to be when I was still at uni. So it's like midweek, lock your bag in the locker, go to one of those places there, CP, Centennial, Bondi, Coogee, some of those, all the coastal beaches, and then head back, shower, go to class. That was how it used to be for me until and then so in 2018 I joined like the Runstock subcommittee, but I also took up a bit of coaching at high school as well. So I was I was obviously still very familiar with the staff there and everything. So for the next this is kind of where I finally like learned more about the why behind more about the training.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess when you see it on the other side of things too, you see our other boys, like you kind of see them like suffering in a way. They're suffering in that, and then like why you need to do this kind of session, why you need to go quicker there, like you need to go quicker here, go slower there, you need to do this and that. And so it's like you need to like it's almost like you try to run like I guess like just like focus on like get these like sessions, like I guess get it done, but also like you need to focus on getting the paces up. If you want to get quicker, you need to like run faster than that pace. So say you want to run like a 20 minute 5k, you'd want to do like intervals, so say maybe quicker than that 4-minute pace to hit that, like so say 1k rest and maybe like 355 350, and then to be able to hit, do 4-minute k for 5k or and so on. And then you want to do like you've got to do your long runs because to build your aerobic capacity in that. So it's like at the time when I was younger, I didn't really understand this, but then when you get older and then you start mentoring others, and like you start like mentoring others to do, like to coach them and tell them what to do. You like, it's like now you see what they meant to you when you were younger.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. So I was like, I did. So, and then I got promoted to the exec team for Run Sock for 2019-2020. So I was doing all their sessions, and like I was like the head pacer. So I was like the coach of the Running Society. Like I'll organize the interval sessions and like be like their race director, and then like organize the teams for the races as well. So it's like. And then like you had, like for example, City Surf, I had to do like the big huddle like outside what was that thing called, the memorial on Museum, that thing there. We just huddled in. I just like do a speech and like like try and rev everyone up for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like there's some cool experiences when you're still in uni and that as well. So it's like being an exec and like leading everyone else, like showing everyone the way on like a Friday evening social run, for example. Just like make sure they don't get lost, and like pace and like and organize the pacing group, like who's like taking the advanced group, the intermediate group, the beginners group. So it's like we call it fast group, medium group, sexy pace was what we call it at Run Stock. So like we want to just like obviously be very inclusive as well, because running at the end of the day is everyone comes in like different like levels, ability levels, shape, sizes, age, whatnot. So it's like you got to be very inclusive with everyone. So like just calling people slow is not the right way to go about it. So
no, definitely. I think
everyone's on their own little journey.
100%. Yeah,
time's sort of irrelevant at that point. It's nice that you had that group in uni as well, I reckon.
Yeah,
because that would have been fun.
Yeah, it's like I'm still like reasonably connected with this group as well. Yeah, even though now the times have changed, have shifted a bit. Now like I guess now the newer exec team like recently got elected. There's people I haven't like met before. Like I don't like know the names, because I guess that shows my age now. So like in terms of them, because like uni, like you have 18, 19, 20 year olds, and then I'm now 26 now, a couple of years out of uni. And like some of the people there, senior members, I'm still like reasonably connected with, which is nice. And then like I guess when I graduated from uni, it was like I graduated during the lockdown period too. So it's like it's sort of like I guess it's a bit of a story. Like I remembered in 20 okay, so we'll talk about this. We have a little story here. Like so when I talked about Runaways SMH half and my like sort of like love-hate relationship with that race for a while, I'll give you a bit of the backstory here. So back in 2018, I just broke 80 minutes for the half marathon for the first time at Blackmores. So around that, and then towards the end of the year, I thought let's try and crack 18 minutes for the 5k. So I still had and I only ended up getting 18:10. But then like by the end of the year, I remember there was this one day at Christmas. Then I injured my knee on a downhill running home from parkrun, and it was like this was like very incredibly difficult, because I couldn't like run properly for like like just couldn't get any momentum. I'd try and run for a day, and then I had to take a few days off because it was like really sore, it was locked up, and then like it just like really shortened my training block. Because when I went under 80, the next goal was to go raise the bar a bit more. And then the thought was 78 minutes was the next one, and I thought sub 78 SMH half is the next goal. But then obviously I had a knee injury, then that like set me back until like maybe late March before I did an actual long run. And then I ran that SMH half in 2019 in 80 minutes 53, and I was in a real wreck, pretty much. I was very annoyed, I'd say. I was just telling people, oh, sorry, I did this. I did so badly. All this. I was apologizing to everyone. And everyone's saying, no, you don't need to be sorry about that.
Yeah.
So,
of course, yeah.
But I was obviously very disappointed and annoyed with that. So I thought, I'm coming back with a vengeance. I'm here for vengeance. I want redemption. So I'll promise myself I'll be back to do that. And obviously the years... So with that knee injury, this is where, like I previously mentioned about my cadence, this is how like why I increased my cadence here, because like I remember before that injury, I was like, my average cadence would have been like 170, like low mid 170s, and then like I started like increasing, and then I like realized I was in a lot of pain from that, and then I started trying to increase it, try and get in the 180s, and I realized, oh, actually I can actually run through this, and then like gradually it just like got better and better in that. At first it was actually felt very unnatural actually at first, because I guess when you've run one way for so many years and trying to change the way you run, you also have to like increase how quick it's going to feel very unnatural at first. So like it took a while for it to feel second nature, and then like so go to 180s nowadays. Is like generally my easy runs will be like mid 180s now, and then like race days, so like a park run I go 200 plus nowadays. So like it's like, so it does take some time, but once you successfully remodel it, then it feels a lot more natural, which it is now. So
what gave you that idea to like change cadence?
I just thought like the amount of impact, like just bashing the ground, as like the way I was bashing the ground, it felt like I was bashing it too hard. That was what I thought I needed to like load like change the way it loads the ground. My feet load the ground, and then almost like skim the ground rather than bash it.
Yeah.
So that's why like I remodeled it, and then I guess like after that races, and then also I was training for my first Sydney Marathon as well, and then afterwards it was like I wanted to get that sub 78, and then COVID hits. So yeah, it was like all the lockdowns, the shutdowns. At first I wasn't really doing much running at the start of lockdown at all. I don't think I barely ran during the start of the lockdown, and then like I started training again, and I think I kind of like started to just run a lot. Because I was doing all of it solo now, because I was doing long runs solo already in the previous years, but then this was where everything was solo. Like my intervals were solo, my easy runs were all solo. I had nobody with me for like all these months on end. So like I think this is where like what's like helped lead me to this day, like in terms of training wise, like stay like a lot very disciplined for extended periods of time, because I was like doing all these runs solo, and then so it's like that's that. And then we got we had a few like races, like wasn't able to race for a little while, and then we had like the Sydney 10 in 2021. I was like, my first 10k I was like 34.09 I think it was, and then it was like really solid. And then I was hoping to get to Sydney like the SMH half just weeks in about 6 weeks later, and then we get locked down again. So we had one cancellation for the original day in 2020, then it got postponed in November 2, then
you kind of
3,
forget that happened,
and then 4. There was 4 cancellations, and and I was definitely reeling, because I remember that day it was like when the last cancellation came. I thought I was fit. I just ran 16:45 as a parkrun PB as well. Like maybe like 8 days before, and then they cancelled the race. I was like, no, you can't be kidding me. I thought I was fit. I ran 34 for a 10. I've gone 16:45. I'm pretty sure I can run 76 here. and then I was running like 90. That's at the time my mileage was about 90k. And I was like, I felt fit, and then I was like devastated. It was tough then, and then I got another injury during the second lockdown. This was the right heel. I was probably managing it for a little while, but then during that second lockdown, because I was living in like one of the worst like hit COVID areas too. So I was living in like so the Canterbury Bankstown region was like at the top of the like lockdown priority. So there was like 5 kilometer radius and all this 1 hour exercise and all this stuff. It was I think in hindsight it felt unnecessary, but yeah, and it was just tough mentally. And then when you had like an injury that like just like almost like exaggerated during that time, it's just like back to the right heel. I just didn't. It was just motivation dropped again because I didn't want. And then I tried to run for a few weeks, and then in the end I decided, let's just shut down for a couple of weeks and just not run and start from scratch again after 3 weeks. And then I remember when things started opening up again, parkrun was back. My first parkrun, I went from like 16:45 to like 19 minutes. It's like a 2-minute drop, and people with like some of the guys were thinking, "What are you doing? You're slow now." I was like, yeah, but I'm just coming back. So it's like,
yeah,
and it was just you gradually like see the gains come up again.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, I guess like during that, when I try to go sub 78 at SMH in last year as well. And then I think 4 weeks before the race during Easter, I caught COVID. I was like, and I was in ISO for a week. That wasn't a lot of fun at all, being in isolation. And that was frustrating too. And then I remember going to the race, I thought I was still able to run, like still was going to be able to run still going to run that sub 78 because I had just recently got myself back under 17 after a little while trying to come back. And then like I even had like Matt Gore pacing me for the race too. I tried to lock into him, but then we couldn't get the job done 79.16, and that was a bit came off like still a lot more to be desired then. So it's like, yeah, so it was like, oh god, another year, and we'll have to come back next year and get this one done. So yeah,
this race is front and center of your mind.
Yeah, it was front and center for years there. Soda knew this knew this one was like part of me for so many, like had been like the storyline for like years, and that like so it's like this was tough there to get to that point. Then obviously had to put it back in the mind again, because I was training for my second Sydney marathon. I wanted to get this one right because I knew the first time I missed it sub 3, but I thought I could go sub 250 here, and then obviously that worked out to be 248. So like I was happy to get to 48, 15 minutes off. Obviously now, like when you look back at it, you know there's still a few things you could do better, but like sometimes you do get like a little critical with yourself when you see like these like little errors in that. You can like see what you can improve on. But yeah, like I guess that's what I've like always been like, try to like, I guess like try and challenge myself to try and get better, and in a sense I feel I'm not gonna like conquer running, or like ever like really properly conquer it, because you're just trying to challenge yourself to get better, like learn how to like be a better runner as well, see what others do, and then I guess like when you see others like do this, and like how you can maybe integrate that into what you do, and then yeah, so yeah, that there, and then it's like so yeah, like so I got to Sydney Marathon 248, which I was obviously happy with, and then I was closing in on 250 park runs as well, which was like, so I was like getting close to there, and then I like thought I want to have a swing at some times, try and go under 16:30. Had a few goes just before the 250 mark and missed it, and then the 250, like everything came together that day. There's like a video on Soda's YouTube on that day too, when I ran 16:36. Had everyone was there. It was like so humbling just having everyone there to support me in that, yeah. And then like wishing me all the best. They like and like have Stephen and Soda both with the doing GoPro duties to help get me across the line, and then we did it. Then I was like super stoked then, and then they just like and then without me knowing, they just like some of the guys, they just come up to me and just like lift me up and then
Yeah,
free
that's
cheers
right.
to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And yeah, I was like, oh, this just feels like so humbling just to like share these moments with you all. It's like just love you all, feel the love with everyone within, like I guess had like the Run Socks, like a lot of the Run Sock guys there, the St. Peter's Parkrun community, they obviously like they know me pretty well now, so it's like always like it was a really nice moment there, and obviously like so having breaking 16:30 at that very moment, so it's like one of those clutch moments I've had. So just going under 16:30 on my 250, which was really nice to do, and then having a few other like then going down to like one of the turbo races there for like 16:04, the PB City one. I remember I went 16:04. Yeah, when like
past me.
Oh yeah, I know, because I knew this was my last race for the year. I knew I had nothing else in the tank. I just wanted to just empty it out.
Yeah, you pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I just went empty it all out, nothing in the tank. That was all I thought.
I was yelling at you. I was like, go! 'Cause I knew I was done.
Yeah, because I just knew like I was going to have a couple of weeks rest after that moment. There was no more hard running for a couple of weeks after then. So that was that race there, and then like regroup for 2023, and then started off the years like. And we went to Sun Run, like ran that 33:56, which was like I was really happy with that. Yeah,
you must be like seeing
I know
fitness trending in the right direction on that course.
I know. It's like you just go up the hill and just like, because you have that hill at 7K. I think I was like 4th fastest of the day on there. I came 14th overall on the Sun Run that day.
Did you run that, Dom?
Not that day.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that day. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there was that. So we had Sun Run there, and then we went to, there was that other turbo, the Pride 5000 turbo event there, and that was when I went 16 flat on the track. And yeah, I guess after that moment, there was a few months where I had like a real lull, like a mental lull in racing, because had like a long purple patch, and then everything just, like a lot of things in life just like built up, and then I just like struggled for motivation for a couple of months. So like April, May, it was really tough to like it was really tough to like run. It was like I just kind of lost motivation for a little while, and then I like had to just try and get to SMH, like so it was now renamed as Runaway. But then I knew I wanted to get it done, because like, and I guess because for so long I was stuck at 79 minutes as my half marathon PB. I was stuck at that for like 4 years. So I was like sick of being 79 minutes. I'm like, well, I'm not 79 minutes. Like I've gone sub 17 for 5. I've done I've done 33, 34 for 10. So that's not 79 minutes for a half marathon. So then I just went in there, just tried to run, like just lock myself in. I remember that race. I remember like in the build up wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I just thought I'd just run that tempo, run like a 3:30, 3:35 pace tempo. I managed to find a group of 8 people, like 8 of us in there, including I believe Neve Allen was the second, who finished second in the female division. So there was like 8 people in that group there. And then so I was just stuck on the back on there for a bit. I remember it got to around halfway. I saw a few Run Stock volunteers, and I just went past, like got to the front of that group for a little bit, and then they reeled me back in. And then I saw the hill at KO Expressway. I remember this was the one which broke me at the 2019 edition, where everything fell apart then. But this time around, I just went for it, and just like, basically that 8-person group became 2 of us really. There's like, so only like 6 of the 8 people. There's only one other guy that actually followed my move, and then yeah, I guess that guy did have a bit more legs in towards the end of the race, but like I basically did the bulk of the damage to that group on that hill there. And then I just crossed the line. I just remembered finished 15th, 74:57, so it was like just over 4 minutes off my PB. I was like so like emotional then. I remember just like going to on the ground, just like in tears, like thinking, oh, what have I done here? I can't believe I've done this. And then I just grabbed the find the finisher's towel, and just like sort of like basically cried in the towel for a little while, and then it's like I'm a volunteer. I think one volunteer asked me if I was okay. I was like, yeah, I'm fine, and I'm just so stoked that I finally got this race right.
Yeah.
After all these years of like struggling, and I finally went from calling it seeking vengeance, it's now vengeance seeked. So it's like done. The job's done. Now I can relax a bit.
Yeah, it probably meant that much more because you had so much ups and downs with that particular race as well.
Yeah, ups and downs with that, ups and downs with life the last previous months too. Is like always. But then I think like nowadays with how my mind is now with running, when I've like kind of think is like you guys probably, I'm not sure if you guys know like the song Waves, Dean Lewis. It comes and goes in waves. It always does. I've kind of like used this kind of motto as well now. Like I guess because you're gonna have your up days, you're gonna have your down days. You kind of just have to respect the process too. Like so now this is kind of what I've like, how I treat running as like and life as well. Like you like the ups and downs. You're just gonna have to like respect the process as much. If not more now, because you can never really sometimes you can't just take anything for granted, because like one day you might be running really well, you might be at the top of the game, and suddenly just in a snap everything flips. So you just kind of have to in a way be aware, but also not be, I guess I've always been in a way I've had this like I've fallen victim to this many times, just being really hard on myself, because I always try and set myself standards to try and improve myself, and like I get better and get quicker all the time. That's always like been my like type of mentality. I want to get better, I want to get quicker, but it's not always going to be, that's not always going to happen. You're going to have your like down days, you may have your injuries, and then other things in life will play its part. So it's like you just have to realize it's just a process really, more than anything. It's not always going to be successful, but when it does, you do want to like appreciate it and also appreciate the down days too. So yeah,
definitely, I think it's a good philosophy to have.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because I've got, I guess this motto there. There's another motto I kind of use now. I call this motto "Run the way I know." So it's like, what I mean by run the way I know is like it's like I've always wanted to just enter the races, train the way into the races that appeal to me most. And I expect this is kind of something I expect from others. Want to set the example that others should do this as well. Like if you want to do like a road marathon, if you want to do like a middle distance track, if you're going on a trail, if you want to just like take it chill and like just have fun with your friends or so forth. Everyone's got their own like thing there, like everyone's got their like little thing they want to go for. I think it's always first things first. You want to stick to that, because that's what will make you. How you're gonna enjoy get the most out of your running too. It's not. You can't you can't just like get someone to just tell you, like demand you have to do this and that all the time. Like if you do get a coach, like for sure, like you're getting a coach. I'm sure you're getting a coach for the right reasons, because you want to get better at this or that, and you're selecting someone that's going to head you to the right direction. So that's like also, so like I guess trying to run the way you know what. And also kind of knowing your strengths and your weaknesses as well. Like for me, it's always been like I've always been stronger uphill, not so strong downhill. And then like I usually don't get bothered if a race is like flat or like flat hilly or like stacked or sparse or so. It's like you just want to just try and I guess run your own race, not get too like, I guess like what Soda said last time about like being impacted by other, like what everyone else is doing. Just try and stay in your own elements really.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think I've sort of learnt that, or lent more into that the more I've done running. So
yeah.
Also listen to your body and just what it's
always,
and what your mind's telling you in terms
your mind
of like
and body. Yeah, those
where you
two
are.
things. Yeah,
But you also like you said, it comes in waves. Like it's not running's not always going to be perfect. That's
Exactly.
for sure.
Nothing in life's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You just have to appreciate the process more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. Dom, what do you reckon? Got any other?
No, nothing else too much. What about you?
No, I think we've covered a lot. Thanks for going through your sort of journey in so much detail. I know you've running's been this thing in your life for so long, and obviously
it's been half my lifetime now.
Yeah, and it's like been a constant.
Yeah, sometimes I thought I guess sometimes I thought maybe it's too long, but then now it's like I think I've still got a few things I want to tick off coming up.
Absolutely.
I don't know exactly what, like marathon wise, I don't know exactly what marathon I want to go next or so where I'll do.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I want to just try and see if I can get that sub 16. Especially, I would love to get that sub 16, a St. Peter's sub 16 too.
That's very.
Wow.
That's St. Peter's. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest ones to get sub 16. It's only, I think, only like less than 10 people have done sub 16 there.
Yeah.
Not even Stephen doesn't even have it. Stephen's time at St. Peter's is the exact same as mine.
This could be
Because he hasn't been to St. Peter's as often now, like since as much now. Like I guess because he's at around the Parramatta region, but he did say he will at some point try and raise the bar to challenge me to go after it.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to see that happen. And I guess like because us guys we try to push each other along, and I guess also like Soda's also like brought up like the No Name Run Club roads. The roads one are coming up in early December too, so it might be a good opportunity to stretch your legs too there as well. I know like a few of the other guys will be trying to go for some big times there. I know Soda might be looking for sub 15:30 himself. Because, I'll be looking at, so I was obviously looking to that. But I guess like in these next few weeks, just also listen to my body as well, because only just coming back off a marathon, you don't want to like fully rush into going for like really like going hard for too much. So I'm planning to head back to King's Cross on Thursday but I think I'll just take it like on the conservative side, just to see where the legs are at, and then like try and set a few benchmarks for the weeks to come.
Yeah. We're going to ask the token question.
Yep.
Even though I might have an idea, but you could prove me wrong. What's been your favorite race?
Okay. Yeah. If you ask me say last year, I probably would like sometime different. I would have said something different, but yeah, now I'd definitely say would be for sure Melbourne Marathon, because how right it went, like how like I was able to control the race from start to finish, and the process from start to finish, how much I enjoyed every bit of it, even though there weren't a lot of mishaps. I had like I guess 2 rolled ankles, did a session in like rolled ankle twice. I remember doing a session in lightning strikes as well. It was like, so there were a few little mishaps there, but then I was like, but then it was like not, for most part it was a very uninterrupted one. It was like for 18 weeks it was like a lot of like just enjoyed it. Also got a chance to like see others. Like I was like I guess on Sundays I'd see others, like sometimes I'd see others like do their runs, like catch up with other people too, like so say like after like park run I'd sometimes go to brunch with like catch up with others, and then talk my own, like talk to others too. Like Sunday like I'd see people like training as well for their own Sydney Marathon, and it's I guess inspiring to see them try challenge themselves to a lot of them were like a lot of people being first time marathoners too, so to see them challenge themselves to do that. So it's like seeing your own friends in some way, like some people like I guess they get inspired by like what I do, and then they try to replicate, and but then they also, it's kind of like they go hand in hand. So like some people like you'll get inspired one way, and then it'll reciprocate the other way too. So it's like, but like overall the Melbourne Marathon was definitely, this training block was and the race was definitely has been my favorite to date now, because I think it's just a culmination of all the 13 years that I've learnt about myself as a runner. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I enjoyed following it, and it's been great. Definitely thanks for coming on the show and giving us sort of all of that information. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Dom. Thanks, Luke, for having me on the show as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just hearing everything, and yeah,
Alrighty. Thanks, mate.
I think we need to, I guess, stay strong and stay fast. You guys have to remember that.
Do it again. Hang on. Stay strong.
Stay fast.
There we go. Jeez, I'm gonna get grilled by Adrian after that.
Yeah.